Good morning. Got up early this morning to hop over to the Kochi Sunday Market. It's actually right behind me right there. It is cracking. It's probably the most people I've seen on this trip yet, and it's good to see. It's so packed, and we were able to eat some tacos, which my friend from last night recommended. We went over there and checked that out. And then we got some fried sweet potatoes, which are always delicious. And then, actually, I don't think I have any footage or video of that. And then we got some of, I don't know how to describe it. It was described to me as okonomiyaki that's rolled on a chopstick, but that was delicious. And yeah, finishing up right now. We just came here to eat breakfast, do a little bit of shopping. Lynn's actually just right there, shopping the stalls. And we're about to go to see Nikobuchi, which is the Deep. We'll check back in a moment here, but before I leave, let me just say it's really pleasing to see this many people in a certain area. And this market, although it was listed as like not so great, I think that was probably because of COVID during that time and just people weren't coming out. Now that people are feeling safe to come out, it's cracking. Like, it's good to be here. There's a lot of people, and it was a ton of fun. So anyhow, check back in a moment. Welcome back, and I am at Tsuchiya Terrace. It's actually right behind me, and we just finished having lunch. We're running about maybe 2 hours behind right now. Last time I checked in was at the Sunday Market, which was amazing, as I said at that part of the video. But from there we went to Nikobuchi, or Nico Deep, and checked out the amazing blue-green waters of the Deep, and that was pretty fantastic. Like, it was so busy. Like, all these areas are so busy, and apparently it's because it's a 3-day holiday. Both my friends didn't know what the 3-day holiday was, but they said everyone's gonna have more people because of it. I believe it. We've seen more people everywhere. From there we went and did the UFO Line, which we drove the UFO Line up to this point, really, and it's just beautiful all the way around. I will say it is some of the tougher driving that I've done here in Japan. It's only a single lane, but there is two-way traffic, so you really have to find those pullouts. I would also say the leaves, since it's autumn falling, make it really hard to see where there's the drainage that runs along the side of the road, which could be super deep. I noticed that for the most part here, they're only about maybe a foot deep, so not terribly deep, but still, it would stink to accidentally crash into one, right? And so it is, that was one of those things that was kind of like a little hazardous as we were going through. We finished up, came to the Tsuchiya Terrace to get lunch. Both my buddy and I, who joined us, got deer curry, and Lynn got a boar Napolitan. And so it was everything was delicious. The Napolitan, I'm not the biggest fan of Napolitan because they are like it's like they make pasta with ketchup, but it wasn't bad, so it was still worth it. On top of that, we're just getting ready to go to the Nakatsu Gorge now. It's about an hour and a half drive, so I'm just kind of waiting because I want to use the restroom once before we leave. And since we just finished eating and my buddy just left, just been walking around, and I decided to go ahead and film this A-roll because I forgot to. But this whole UFO line has been really amazing. It's a gorgeous drive, and I could imagine doing it on like a regular day where there's going to be less traffic, and being able to kind of just like get to spots where there's nobody, and you could, like, when you take your photos and everything, it's just going to be desolate, so to say. But no matter how you look at it, seeing it with people or without people, it's still amazing. We will check back in a moment here when we get to the Nakatsu Gorge. Back in a sec. Welcome back. We are leaving the Nakatsu Gorge. Took about an hour and a half to get here, and then a little bit of a walk. As you can see, we're walking down a street right now. but the gorge is right next to me. And it's this entire valley, really. And so, a bunch of restaurants over there. I'm sorry, Lynn? Oh, yeah. Lynn's noting that, so, there used to be a path right here that would go all along the gorge there. But it's definitely since been taken, reclaimed by the earth. And so we walked down to the base. Like, Lynn was able to touch the water on the other side of that bridge right there. And we walked down, and it's a free gorge to come check out. It's gorgeous, pun intended, I guess. And there were a ton of, like, paths that you could take. And Lynn was telling me that the Nikobuchi, the Nico Deep, the reason why locals don't go there is because there's supposed to be a serpent lord that lives in that area, and the locals don't want to run into that serpent lord, so they avoid it, which to me that makes sense. We didn't read anything about this place. There are tons of statues of gods here though, and they're just strewn about. The pathway lets you cross the river or the gorge quite a few times, so you get to see from right above the water as well, which is kind of cool. And one of my favorite things about the water here is that it's just so clear. The Nico Deep had that rich blue-green water, which was impressive. This is just so clear and pretty that it was also really awesome to see. Other than that, I think we're going to a beer tap room to check out one of my friend's inspirations for his craft beer that he's going to do here. So this tap room is the reason why he decided he's going to do a tap room. We'll see. Hopefully they're not closed. It's kind of getting late. It is 5 o'clock. So we will check back in a moment here. Maybe we'll be at the hotel instead. Anyhow, back in a second. All right, and welcome back. We are currently at the hotel. We decided to go ahead and ditch the last canyon or gorge. Unfortunately, it was just too dark. We did, on the other hand, go to Blue Tap, which is my friend's recommendation. She knows the owner, and her husband, well, my other friend really, he has practiced or studied underneath this guy's tutelage and understanding how to create craft beer, which is something really difficult to do in Japan. It is not an easy feat to create your own craft beer area. They have different laws here, so I am quite impressed that they did that. But I sat there and met Ken, the owner, and he was a great guy. He's from LA, super friendly. If you're in the area, I guess, like, try to make it out. It's really remote, admittedly, and Lynn and I really had to travel to get there. Yeah, we bought a couple bottles of beer from him, a Belgian white, a stout, and I think a IPA. I'm gonna have to go look at them again. It's been a little while, over an hour ago, let's just say. And after chatting to him about 15-20 minutes, we turned around and came back down. So the thing is that he's actually beyond the Nakatsu Gorge. So you have to go past the Nakatsu Gorge and keep going down. And then, ironically, Lynn was like, should we walk up to the waterfalls? We actually kind of drove over to them. But stopping off at the brew house was kind of cool because there were a lot of foreigners there, and that's not what I was expecting. So, you know, I didn't question all too much, but it's like, how do they find this place? I mean, when I come to Japan, the first thing that I think of is not, you know, brew house or where's the closest place. Not to mention, we're on the quote-unquote forgotten island, the island that, like, no one ever goes to, so that was pretty neat. Again, we left, drove about an hour's time, a little over an hour, to get to... should really look at the town. I want to say it's Yasuhara, but let me just make sure. It is Yasuhara, and we are currently at our hotel, which I keep forgetting the name, is Kumo no Ueno Hotel Annex, meaning the hotel above the clouds. And it is gorgeous. Now, getting in, parking was tight. We took what we think is the last parking spot. When we came up to the door, everything was closed. Everything was in Japanese, like pure Japanese. So it was a little bit of a struggle. Like, I just had to read a sign that said, use the night entrance. Came around to the night entrance and got checked in. This hotel is very unique. In the morning, I'll film the outside of it. You know what? Let's go ahead and do a quick room tour. Alright, so our hotel tour starts with a look from our hallway, I guess you could call it, to our room. This is actually the souvenir shop for Yusahara, the town that we're in. I think it's called Yusahara. We are at the Above the Clouds Hotel. I'll have to look up the name in a second here, but this is our room. We are in 307. This is a special hotel that was created by, or designed by Kengo Kuma. Talking really quiet because they are fully booked. And if you look out the door, there's a room right here, room right there, room right there. They have tried to make the best of this use of this space as possible. So coming into the room, we immediately go into the toilet area, where they have a segregated high-end toilet and a shower. So kind of a wet room, I think. Not 100% sure, but that looks like another drain right there. So it's probably a wet room. Then we have our sink area. We're drying off the ponchos from the other day. And if we go into here, back to the front door, if we look up, all these wooden slats are what Kengo Kuma is kind of famous for. He's just famous for using this type of wood. It's probably like a cedar. I'm not 100% sure, but we have our first little table area. And in here there is a safe that you could use. And then just continues over to this side where the fridge, I believe, is in here. There it is. And then we have our TV, our desk area with our chair. Not actually opened this yet. Oh, this is all the kind of coffees, and there's a hairdryer right there. I guess tea. I said coffee, but it should really be tea. And then on the other side, it's just a hot water boiler. And we have everything plugged in right now, but right underneath this is a mirror, so it becomes a vanity. It actually folds up, but I have my internet and charging stuff going right now. And then here is the rest of the room. The 2 chairs and a table, and then we have 2 beds. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see outside right now, but oh, you can kind of see it. So this thatch roof that you see here, we'll see more of that in the morning. And then it just goes outside. We are parked right across the street. There's barely any parking here, so it is what it is. Yeah, we did get really lucky, as Lynn said. And then over on this side, there's another window. I think we could actually open this one. Oh yeah, it actually says it. But I don't think I will, because it looks like it goes out to the roof, which it does. And so, I'll probably just close this for now. But yeah, that is a quick glimpse into our room. This is probably the most spacious room that we've had on this trip in Japan, yeah. So pretty cool. And again, we are the top floor, so there's the angle there for the slats for the roof. But yeah, and then, oh yeah, the AC is right there. But really well placed out. There's a lot of room in here. Let me go ahead and move the camera so that I could finish off the night. Welcome back. And so the room, as you can see, is probably one of the largest rooms that we're staying in Japan. I'm kind of wondering what the Dogo Onsen will look like. You know, spoiler alert. So far, there's so much space in here, and it's great. So that's pretty much it for the night. I'm beat and super tired. I do have the beers here, so we could go ahead and check out what I got. So we have Satsumo Stout, which is 17. I got 2 of these. And then we have the Belgian White, which is this 2410. I don't know where the numbers came from. Actually, I don't really understand the whole naming scheme. I didn't really ask. Maybe I should have. And then finally we have Green Tea IPA. Yeah, I was right. Which is the 439. Oh, he threw in an explanation and, like, information on the beer. And I think that might be ordering information. But yeah. Oh, and here. It's even better. That's Ken. Great guy from LA. Super friendly, easy to talk to, really hard worker. You could clearly tell by the cleanliness and the great, like, how great the place looks. I'm sure his wife definitely helps out a lot. It's definitely a family ordeal. And yeah, but getting back to Yasuhara, we got in. We went to go get dinner right across the street because we asked what was open, and the front desk was like, "Ooh, this town closes early. You might want to go now." And so she circled some things on a map for us. One of the things that she circled was literally across the street from the hotel. So we just walked across the street. So the place was called Top Time. And we walked in and sat down, grabbed a melon soda and a cow piss soda, and then ordered a hamburger and demi-glace sauce, which was my set. And then Lynn got a tonkatsu set. And then just on the side, we ordered an extra margarita pizza, and that kind of completed us. We're both completely full now. And yeah, we came back over to the hotel. We were going to go over to the onsen. The onsen does close at 9, and I'm dead beat tired. And Lynn was also worried about the parking situation. So although it's free, it's included with the hotel cost, which, again, like I said, this place was more expensive than every other place that we've booked so far, but it is also the biggest, so bummer. But the bathroom, as you saw in the room tour, will make up for it and just take a bath, I guess. Fill it with hot water, right? Should be the same thing. I think that's it for the night. Other than that, we have an early day tomorrow, only for breakfast. We'll throw everything in the car, and then kind of the cool thing that I set was the first thing we're doing tomorrow is walking Yasuhara town. So it's a town that has a ton of creations by Kengo Kuma, who is the architect that also designed the famous Starbucks in Dazaifu in Fukuoka, which we've also been to. And I'm trying to remember, but I've been to a couple other of his buildings, I think even around the world, like not just in Japan. He's very famous for using wood, particularly solid beams that kind of, like, we always joke that there were chopsticks, but this is totally in his design style. So it's kind of cool to be able to stay in a town that he pretty much created everything. And so we're going to go see all his creations tomorrow. And so that should be pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it here because I am dead beat. So have a great night, and I will see you in the morning.